Sup y'all, it's me, it's your boy Asmongold, and today we're going to be looking at get the achievement Heralds of the Legion. Now this is in Shattrath City, and what you have to do here is you have to kill all of the elite rare spawn monsters. Now this is actually pretty hard to do, and so because it was like a completely like all elite area here, and so what I would recommend you guys do is do what I did and just bring a full group and face roll the whole thing. I think we had some problems on like Lord Corniac. But other than that, this was just a complete face roll. It was not even a big deal. I think there's like one point where we took a portal and like half of our group got teleported into some room that they couldn't get out of. And so that was actually pretty funny because I wasn't one of the ones that got ported out into that room. So it was funny for me to see them, but if it was me, it would be pretty fucking annoying. And so as you can see here, the elites do not really have all that much health. The big difference is they just do more damage. As you can see, that guy just hit me for like 16k. And also, there's a lot of them, especially this Watchful Eyes. Watch out for those. They're deadly. They're very deadly. If you're not a tank, they can pretty much almost one-shot you. And so, be careful for that. But anyway, so you just pretty much have to kill all of these. One thing that's good about them is they do not scale in health. And so I chose not to like really speed up the videos too much because they died semi-quickly. Now, the first guy here is the Shadow Flame Terror Walker. He looks just like Balrog, and he behaves similar to him also. He puts down fire. Let me think, try and remember. Oh, he does a charge. And I'm trying to remember, I think he does one other spell, and I just don't remember what it is. And I think that I'll remember by the time that he's dead. And so anyway, one thing that you want to watch out for here is that obviously you're on kind of, I guess, like a plateau, or not really a plateau, but like on an elevated area. And so if he knocks you off with that charge, because that charge does have a knockback component, you can't actually get knocked off of the edge. And so the reason that that's a problem is that you can't really just get right back on the edge unless you have some sort of a teleport or life grip or something like that. Like we actually had our hunter, as you can see there, he is swimming on the in the little background there. And so you don't be him, okay? Don't be him. He actually helped us out a lot. I appreciate that. He's actually one of the people who I actually got from my LFM Words of Draenor video, and so I actually do really appreciate the help, but he did get knocked off, and so that kind of sucks. But anyway, so we're going to go on to the next guy, and let's see, the next guy is the, that's right, the, what is it, the Mistress, no, not the Mistress, why am I, the Maiden of Sin, Matron of Sin, Matron, oh wow. And so anyway, this is pretty much just like Mother Shiraz, at least it looks just like her. What she's going to do is she's kind of a motherfucker, okay? Like, I mean, not entirely, but just a little bit, okay? What she's going to do is she's going to grip everybody in, then she's going to do a casted AoE explosion. I think Sindragosa, except for it pretty much one-shots you. And so, well, I guess the Sindragosa one used to one-shot you, because I remember I used to always die to that, because I was playing on a potato back then. But anyway, aside from the point, other than that, she doesn't really do a lot of stuff. As you can see, she does hit pretty hard. I was taking, let's see, I took 138k damage. And also, one thing is that if you're soloing this, you're probably going to have a bad time. But if you are, you want to be careful to not position yourself in a place where you'll get some of the ads, because some of the ads can do other abilities, and so it can be very annoying. And so I do want to mention one thing right now while I'm just kind of chilling here, is that I do have the map on the side there, but if you want to see the greater map with all of the rare spawns, the elite and non-elite rare spawns, it's at the end of the video, or if you guys just want to see that and you don't even want to hear me talk, you're like, Jesus Christ, this guy fucking, why is he even talking? Shut the fuck up and show us the map. Click to about 13 minutes in, and there you go. It's real easy. And so the next guy here, if you guys do want a little bit of a description, obviously, you know, that's what I'm doing for y'all now. And so the next guy is Vigilant Panthos, I think. And so he's pretty much like, I mean, he doesn't really do much of anything. He kind of does like a frontal cone slam. And it's hard for me to really tell exactly what he does because there's a lot of other mobs here in the same area. And so it's kind of hard for me to really say. But I don't remember him doing anything that was very dangerous. As you can see, he does do a jump. And so, as the traditional things, if there's a thing on the ground that a boss casts, you probably don't want to be standing in it, bar maybe half a dozen exceptions. And so, This is not one of them, just make sure you're not standing in a thing. And he also does some sort of a cast, so you can interrupt that, and it silences you. It does like AoE damage to everybody in your raid. But this guy is also not very hard to kill. He only has about 1.5 million health. Most of them only have about 1.5 million health. And so I'd say, like, in full heroic gear, you'll probably be able to solo these if you're a tank or some sort of, like maybe a warlock or a hunter or something like that. But you might have a little bit more trouble if you're something like a mage or, I don't know, like a balanced druid or something like that. Tanks probably won't have much trouble at all. Now, the next guy here is Kurwash Dylan. He has a bunch of different abilities. Only one or two of them really matter. He's going to do a smoke bomb. He's going to mind control you, and the rest of them don't really matter. The rest, it's just, well, they matter, but it's just kind of common sense. You know what I mean? It's like if there's something on the ground, move out of it. And so there's something on the ground. I'm not moving out of it because I'm still in Pandaria mode, where it's like stand in the fire, DPS higher, which is exactly what you do with Vengeance. But that is not really how it is. So you can see there's a smoke bomb, and it took whoever that was like kind of a while to figure out what the fuck was going on. And so you just mind controlled our hunter. The mind control is really a non-issue. You don't really have to do any real damage to them. Oh, here's Gouge also. Now, this is also really not an issue because he doesn't switch his main target. A lot of times, whenever NPCs gouge you or use any sort of incapacitate effect, they switch to second on the aggro table. But that's not the case here. At least it didn't seem to be. And so that does make things a little bit easier. Other than that, this boss also pretty much flops over. There's really only one of them, I think, that's very difficult at all. And luckily, that was our healer that got MC'd, and she didn't heal him, which kind of would have been super annoying. And so we're going to go on to the next one, and it's Lady Demeslus. And getting to her is kind of annoying because there's all kinds of trash everywhere, and they have like these little purple orbs, and those purple orbs dismount you, and then you have those guys running after you. It's a real pain in the ass. And so as you can see, she does a frontal cone breath, and that's pretty easy to avoid. As I said before, it doesn't really do a whole lot of damage to me because I'm a Blood Death Knight, but if you're not a Blood Death Knight, you might be taking a little bit extra damage. And these mistresses, you want to watch out for them too, and the reason for that is that they're going to jump away, and then they're going to do kind of like a Reeve ability. If you guys have ever done Paragons, I think it's on normal. I'm not really know. I think I've done normal Paragons like twice or something like that. I never really did that. I'd always sit on that fight. And so I've only really done heroic on Paragons. I don't really even mean to sound like an elitist there. Didn't even mean it to sound like that. I kind of did. But anyway, a Reeve basically is a whirlwind, and it does damage and it pulls you in. That's really all I want to say. And so you can pretty much kill her easily. And as I said before, this is a very close quarters area. And so watch out for aggroing extra stuff, especially if you're doing this with a smaller group that has is more prone to wiping. And there's where it is on the map. But again, as I said before, I have everything written down. Now this guy is kind of like the hardest guy here. I was going to put him at the end, but I didn't because we didn't kill him last, and that just wasn't the way the footage lined up. This is Lord Corniak, and I originally saw this guy before he was the first one that was implemented of all the rare spawns. And like when I saw this guy, I was like, I need to fucking kill this guy because I just when I see something like this, like a rare spawn elite, like a little boss like this, I just have to kill him. And so I'm very happy that I finally did. And even though half our group is going to die about twice, we will actually kill him. Don't worry, it will take a little bit extra time though. Now, Lord Corniak does about two important abilities. He does a Grip of the Legion, I think that's what it's called. And at that point, he's going to pull you in, and you pretty much just have to run away from him. And he's going to shoot down little slime balls. And when the slime balls hit you, they do a whole lot of damage. As you can see, they can do enough damage to kill you. And also, Grip of the Legion does damage itself. And so that's a point where you want to use your personal cooldowns. Other than that, he does that slam, and that doesn't really do a whole lot of damage, but it does a little bit, and so just be aware of that for if you're the healer or whatever for this group. This guy is soloable, I think. I think with like 630 gear or so, you'll probably be able to solo him without much of a problem, assuming that you can AMS through most of the shields. And this is a Blood Death Knight. if you are soloing him as something else, you know, you might need to do a slightly different strategy. I was like a little worried about wiping on this guy because of how much damage the grip did, but I had already tried to solo him a couple times and it did not go over very well, and so I kind of knew what to expect, and I also had some very good players with me. My healer is a very good player, and so she was able to pretty much just keep me up through it and not die like everybody else did. And so as you can see here, there he is, he's fucking dead. And I didn't get anything, but a guy in my party, one thing that's cool is that a guy in my party, he actually got a blue item, and it was a 608 ring. And so that's kind of neat. Not really amazing item, but you know, it's okay. Now the last guy here is, what the hell is his name? Lulu the Observer. And so you see these little runes. Everybody has to stand on one of these, on all three of the runes at the same time. And there's going to be 4 of these Fell Maidens, and you have to unlock and kill all of them in order for Urumu to become active. And so the thing here is, you want to step on the runes, like what I did. Well, you need 3 players for this, obviously, because there are 3 runes, and so you can't even unlock these things unless you have 3 players. I tried to run through all 3 of them, and it didn't work. Maybe you can do it with like 2 players. I'm not really entirely sure. But anyway, the runes, just by standing on them, they do a very, very large amount of damage, and so don't underestimate that. It's very. I don't think you can even really heal through it, at least not at the current gear levels that we're doing. And so after all 4 of the observers, or sorry, not the observers, the maidens are dead, you're able to go ahead and actually fight Urumu. And as you can see, there'll be 4 of them around him. It'll be very obvious which ones they are. And there's also going to be a Fell Legionnaire that's just kind of walking around doing whatever the fuck he wants. And so that's pretty much it. That's its own thing. There he is. He's there, and we fucking killed him. We don't have any time for him. And so Urumu, he has a couple of abilities, and none of them really matter. He does this gaze thing, and he just targets you, and he does damage, or he doesn't really target you. It's like like I don't know, like he spins around in a circle, same as Urumu. And he also puts like down like void zones or whatever, and he throws them in like random places. And so if don't stand in it, it's real fucking easy. He doesn't really do anything much else besides that. You just pretty much don't want to be standing in front of that. As you can see, it did 138k damage to me. And so I'm a tank, and so it probably does close to 160k, I'd say, to a non-tank. And so be very careful not to be standing in front of them. And then there it goes. That's all of them are done. Servers reset in the middle of this, and so that's why I didn't get the achievement. And so that's pretty much all it takes to get the Heralds of the Legion achievement. And so there we are standing in that. Didn't really do much to us, but anyway, thank you to everybody who helped me do this. And let's see, it's actually pretty much it. So I'm going to have the map show up and show you guys exactly where to find all of these guys, as well as the non-elites on the map. But for now, at least, that's pretty much all I've got. So thanks for watching, and like, comment, subscribe.